a young Jew born in the woods of Georgia, found his way to the Irish streets of Boston, Massachusetts, and then to the headshot-laden boulevards of Los Angeles, and now resides wherever you wish him to be, but mainly New York City. The man who co-created one of the greatest sketch comedy series of all time. The voice of the caramel M&M. As a thespian, he not once but twice carried the Men in Black film on his fucking shoulders. Do you want to see him? Do you want to see him now? Boise, it is my honor to present to you David Cross.
Hey guys. Hello. So this is a weird theater. I've been here before, but I don't remember, like there's no backstage. They built it before people were famous. You gotta come in with all the popcorn people. That's what we call you in Hollywood. Okay, so I have a whole set. I have a whole big show, so let's get to it. I'm just fucking around, yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, so pretend I didn't say any of that stuff, and I just pretend I just came out. All right, ready? Here we go. So here's the set. No. Eenie Meenie, Cicilline, Uwa, Tamburini, Achi-Wachi, Liberace, I hate you. Give me a peach, give me a plum, give me a stick of bubble gum. No peach, no plum, no stick of bubble gum. I saw you with your boyfriend last night. How did you know? Peeking through the window, nosy. Didn't take a shower, smelly. Jumped out the window. Now you're talking crazy. That's what they call me. Eenie Meenie, Cicilline, Uwa, Tamburini, Achi-Wachi, Liberace, I hate you. I have a 6-year-old daughter. That song isn't part of any Disney musical. Can't access it anywhere. Never heard it on the radio, ever. But it's literally the last thing that goes through my head as I'm falling asleep, and the very first thing as I awaken, that goddamn song, because I have heard it roughly 275 times. And have it committed to memory, unfortunately. And that's part of the joy of having a 6-year-old daughter, you know? And so yes, I have a 6-year-old daughter, but man, let me tell you something. That kid is 6 going on 7. You know what I mean? Seriously, she's not special, is what I'm saying, you know? She's not. I mean, she's special to me, of course she's special to me, but I'm saying she hasn't, like, demonstrated any advanced logical thinking skills or artistic abilities. You know, if you saw her and you were like, how old is she? And I said, she's 6, you'd go, oh, sounds about right, you know? Unlike all the parents who talk up their kids. They're so smart and they're so funny, and these kids have not earned it in any way, shape, or form. They're not smart. They're not funny. And people do that all the time. And I'm thinking of specific children when I'm picturing specific children, because they're my friends' kids who play with my kid, and they say that shit all the time, and I can't tell you who they are because they're famous, but they're like, they say shit like, oh my God, he said the funniest thing. It was so smart and funny. I asked him what he wanted for dinner, and he said, I didn't even give him options. He said, Mommy, I want spaghetti and meat bulbs. He said meat bulbs. And well, that's neither smart nor funny. It's neither one of the, in fact, it's the opposite. It's actually the opposite of that. I've learned so much from having kids. This is my first kid, my only kid, and you know, I'm an old dad. I would say older, but that seems to be sugarcoating the reality. I'm old, and so I'm an old dad, and I've learned a lot. And there really are truly so many awful things about having a child, but one of the worst is that I now have to engage in small talk and chit-chat that I would never fucking ever engage in, ever. You know? Like before I had a kid and I'd be hanging out at the playground. You know, if I was at the park or something and there are, you know, a bunch of kids, you know, yelling and screaming and shouting and acting up, and then, you know, some guy next to me, a stranger, would, you know, referencing the kids, go, boy, they're a handful, huh? You know, before I had a kid, if somebody said that to me, my reaction would be like, what the fuck? And I'd walk away, and that'd be the correct thing to do. That'd be the right thing to do. But, am I having a stroke, or did the light just go up a little bit? It did, right? Okay. That was weird. I went over here and that's also part of getting older. Is like, am I dying? This is how I want to go. I want to go out like this. But now that I have a kid, I have to engage that person, and I have to talk to them because that's a potential play date, and you have to have as many play dates in your back pocket because it's inevitable that at some point my wife is going to be out of town and I'm going to wake up not even hungover, just drunk, like clinically still very drunk, and I'm going to have to put that kid somewhere for an hour, you know, just to take a shit, like one of those mornings. And so now I got to talk to that guy. And here's the thing, Boise, I live in Brooklyn, New York, and it is filled with young hipster parents. Filled with them. And so I'll be at the playground, right, with my daughter, and this guy will come up and, you know, just like with one of those like orange, you know, woolly caps, like longshoreman toque or whatever, but they roll it all the way up. You know what I mean? They like roll it up to here. So it's not even doing the one fucking thing a hat is supposed to do. You're not wearing it properly. It's not. Also, you're bald, so it just looks like a weird pasty for the top of your head. It's like this, you know. And so they have that thing, and then one of these, you know, 23 skidoo mustaches, and like a full sleeve of like retro toasters or some shit like that, right? And wearing culottes and a skirt and high-heeled Crocs and a big old like glistening oily whetstone, right? Like a big whetstone dangling off a leather sheath, right? And you're like, what the fuck? Who? When? How? Why? You know? Oh, the whetstone. Oh, yes. Yes. Well, I just came back from crafting. Yeah, the gang and I get together and we craft. Each weekend we get together and we craft. And you know, I make bespoke, artisanal, handcrafted, farm-to-table marbles. And then we get together, the gang and I all get together and play marbles or mubbly peg or jacks. And because I think we've gotten so cynical and jaded as a society in the last 4 or 5 years, what with COVID and he who shall not be named. Don't make me say his name. And so the gang and I get together, and we're trying to get back that innocent, that joy, that youthful joy, and by playing games of not of our youth, but the youth of our fathers' fathers. A simpler, more innocent time. And anyway, that asshole will come up to me, right? So I'll be there with my daughter, and that guy will be like, "Oh man, boy, they're a handful, huh?" Yeah. Can be sometimes, yeah. Yeah, boy. Which one's yours? The blonde girl on the monkey bars over there. Oh, yeah, she's playing with mine. That's my boy. That's Copernicus. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that kid is something, I'll tell you what. That kid is 6 going on 30. You know what I mean? No, I don't. How? In what way is he? What does he have? Heart disease? What that is? So when you have a kid, I've learned that you really are forced to confront your bad habits, your bad traits, and to do something about them. You have to be proactive in being a better person that way, because you don't want to put those things onto your kid. And, it's not like before when you're going to get married and you're like, I'm going to be a better person, I'm going to be more attentive and listen, and I'm going to be more emotionally available. And then you get married and you're like, fuck that, we're married, it's not, it's all set. But no, you have to really do something about these things. And I have a multitude of things that are wrong with me and really bad habits, bad traits. And one of the worst things about me, I'm trying to be better at, is I am extremely judgmental, I really am. And I have been since I was young. Very, very judgmental. And I've always justified it, by going, well, I'm right. But, it doesn't really work that way. And I'm just awful. The shit that goes on in here is just awful. Like when I'm at the airport, the internal monologue I'm having nonstop for hours, just constantly walking around the airport going, who the fuck's this asshole think he's doing? What's this bitch on about? Put on some fucking clothes. Put on some different clothes. That's not a service animal. It's not. That's not a service animal. It's not. I mean, look, I love dogs. I even like them on the flight. But you're not fooling anybody. It's not your emotional support dog. If I don't bring Mr. Peepers, I'm going to cry. I can't. He has to be on the flight, or I'll poop myself. People bringing on fucking rabbits and shit. Fuck you, guys. I'm gonna just bring on an emotional support tarantula. Anyway, so to give you an example of what a just awful piece of shit I am and judgmental. So this is 100% true. I was in Brooklyn. I was walking to do a set to get ready for the tour and everything, and we have those outdoor dining sheds, and I'm walking by down the street, and I see an older couple, and the gentleman is standing up, and he has his arm extended to help his partner up from the table, and it had just started to rain, so he opened up an umbrella and put it over her, not trying to squeeze in, it was all just for her. He's getting rained on. And they are just beaming at each other. The biggest smiles you've ever seen. right? So I saw this, and in my head, as I walked by, it's true, I looked and I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's so nice that they found each other. And I thought, found each other? Why did I add that to it? And then I answered myself immediately with, oh, it's because they're both ugly. Yep. I'm looking at pure love and chivalry. And my fucking shitty take on it is like, oh, good for you, you ugly fucks. That's nice. That's nice that you found each other, because you're so hideous, nobody else would ever have you. So that worked out well. I do want to say that they really were ugly. I mean, it was really remarkable. It was disturbing. It stayed with me. It was upsetting, clearly. I mean, really phenomenally ugly, and it just didn't seem right. So last year, for her birthday, I took my current wife on a trip to... She's my current wife. I mean, it sounds like a diss, but it's just factually correct. Regardless of whatever happens in the future, she will always remain at this point in time my current wife. I think y'all should start saying that. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Shit. Y'all know my current husband, Jerry, right? Jerry, get over here. Jerry, I want you to meet some of the folks I work with. 'Cause it's fucking true, Tanya. So for her birthday last year, I took my wife to Bologna, Italy on a trip. Awesome place. Has anybody been? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That's not how you react. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. We only went for 5 days, which I know is a kind of a short time to go all that distance, you know, but I felt very strongly about, and I'm fully aware that everybody has their own opinion about this, but I was adamant that, 5 days really is the maximum amount of time that you want to leave a 5.5-year-old at home by themselves, I think. We would have liked to have gone longer, but that's irresponsible. It's shitty parenting. And so went for 5 days, and it was great. I highly recommend it. Really nice people, amazing food, and it's a relatively small city. You can kind of get a feel for it in a 3 days of walking around. And one thing I noticed though, like around day 3, was that there are more churches per capita in Bologna than any place I've ever been. And I've traveled fairly extensively. And it's just weird because you're walking down the street, they have these like big, wide cobblestone streets that go for like a mile. You go all the way down and then all these little side alleys. But every turn you take, everywhere you're walking down, it's like, here's a church, and that's next to another church, and there's a gelato place, and there's another church, and there's another church, there's a Vespa place, and there's a church, and you go down this alley, it ends at a church, and you go underneath the bridge, and then there's a church there, and then you go to the piazza, and there's the Grand Basilica with certain other churches around it. And the thing that's weird is they're all the same church. They're all the same. There's no synagogues or mosques or Mormon tabernacles or Baptist schoolhouses or Lutherans or Methodists or Calvinists or Episcopalians or Presbyterians or Seventh-day Adventists or Unitarian. I mean, it's all the same church. The same exact thing is happening in each one of these. You know, it's the same dead kid and the same little wispy, smoky orb dangling from a chain, like guys in hoodies mumbling, going, oh, you know, the same fucking thing. And I don't know if people were just really lazy back then, you know, like, well, I want to go to church, but it's all the way over there. All right, build another damn church. All right. And here's something else I learned that I did not know until I went there, and this is true. In Italy, the church pays taxes. Yeah, they do. They pay taxes like any other business, and it goes into the government coffers, helps to strengthen the social safety net and security, and it provides, you know, medical attention for people who need it, housing for people, and you know, reminder that here in America, the church and religious institutions don't pay taxes. And I found out the reason they don't pay taxes is because they don't have to. Yeah. And the reason they don't have to, there are two reasons stated. One is the separation of church and state. You know, very, 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 very important to the founding fathers. You know, so important, it's literally the first thing mentioned in the Bill of Rights, the very first thing. Separation of church and state, the idea that the government cannot dictate to a church, religious institution, what it can and can't say. And in turn, the church is not allowed to advocate for a candidate or a party from the pulpit. How about that? Now, great idea. On paper, it's a great idea. But come on, there hasn't been a separation of church and state in this country ever. I mean, as soon as the ink was dried, you know, I mean, before Thomas Jefferson got home to fuck his slaves, that thing was gone. That was rubble. There's no wall. There's not even a Venn diagram. It's just like two circles on top of each other. It got so bad that in 1954, they had to create an amendment called the Johnson Amendment, which said specifically, and I quote, no electioneering. That's how bad it got. Now, look, we all watched the January 6th Fun Time Hour. We all saw that, right? I distinctly remember seeing a priest, got a clerical collar, everything, shouting through a bullhorn atop a pile of maimed security, I guess, but shouting for real about taking the White House back from the demon Democrats, right? And during any election, you can go on YouTube and see, or if you're in the South, just turn on TV, and you will see all kinds of preachers and pastors from the pulpit going, and a vote for a Democrat is a vote for Satan himself. Yes, if you vote for a Democrat, you are lower than a burr on the testes of the taint of the ring around Satan's asshole, and you will burn in hell for all eternity, gnashing your teeth and gnawing on your limbs, because the Democrats want to drink your children's blood so that they can further engorge their genitalia so that they can engage in drag queen story hour Black Mermaid orgies or whatever the fuck nonsense they think. You know. So, hardly a separation of church and state. The other reason stated, as I said, there are two, the other reason that the church and religious institutions don't pay taxes is because they are not-for-profit organizations. Yeah. The Catholic Church is not making a profit. They're not doing so well. They're the Catholic Church, which beyond all their churches own over 5,000 properties, office towers, big buildings around the world. They own over $1 billion worth of stock cumulatively in Shell Oil, Gulf Oil, General Motors, General Electric, Bethlehem Steel, which I'll give them Bethlehem Steel. Okay, I get that one makes sense, sure. $1 billion in stock. And they don't pay taxes. The Catholic Church even owns, for real, an observatory in Arizona, the largest observatory, the largest telescope in Arizona, called the Mount Graham Observatory. The Catholic Church owns an observatory. So, suck on that, Galileo, huh? You didn't see that one coming, did you? Oopsies. Hey there, so good news, bad news. We'll just chalk it up to a clerical error, okay? That's a very clever joke. Yeah, the Catholic Church, what the fuck does the Catholic Church need with an observatory? Why? There's only one possible explanation, one. And that is they are on the lookout 24/7 for the second coming of Jesus Christ. It's the only thing that makes sense. Any sign of them at all? No, sir. Well, keep looking. I have been for a long time. Well, look harder. Just, spin it around. We paid for the one that spins, so move it around, move it up and down. Keep looking. Yes, sir, I've been looking. Journal entry 22,109. Still, no sign of Jesus Christ. Lost? Question mark? But then, one very special morning, No, all right. Wait a second. What? Oh my goodness. Boss, get in here. What is it? It's him. Oh gosh, he's coming for us. It's G. Oh, wait a second. False alarm. It's just Mohammed on a winged horse. Shoot him down. Shoot him down. Fire up the Jewish space lasers. And I think if the church and religious institutions aren't going to have to pay taxes, then I think they should be homeless shelters, at the very least. It's the least we can ask of them. And I don't mean turned into homeless shelters, I mean like simultaneously be a homeless. So you have church and you have the sermon and you have service on Sundays, but then there's also, like over here, there's like a soup kitchen and a place for people to get clothing and medical attention and like diapers and toys for the kids and maybe a shower, just some basic human dignity and a haircut or something like that over here. So that while the pastor's up there, right? Saying the words of Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, words about charity and kindness and love and empathy, and so they can have the soup kitchen over there, so that while they're parroting this, and the pastor's going, and in Matthew 11:18, Jesus says, "Bring to me all ye who are weary and burdened, and take my yoke upon you, so that you may ease your suffering soul. And Jesus is telling us to help those in need. We have a good thing. Let's help those who don't. Yes, praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. And in Matthew 25:35, Jesus says, "For I was starving, and you gave me food. For I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. For I was a stranger, and you let me in." Yes, praise Jesus, praise Jesus. So that while they're saying that stuff and parroting all these beautiful ideas and thoughts, they can look over and be like, what? Wait. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Is that what you've been talking about the whole time? I never made the connection. I have been coming here for years. Wow, mush brain over here. Well, thank you for the visual aid. That helps. Yeah, because there's no hypocrite on the planet quite like the American Christian. It's the ultimate, the zenith of hypocrisy. The bar has been set so high. And you know the ones I'm talking about? They're holy, they're righteous, they're pious, they go to church every Sunday, and they say these words, and they know what's good, what's bad, what's evil, what's pure, what's moral, what's immoral. No gray area, just black and white. They know, absolutely they know. And they say these words, you know, these beautiful ideas and words about helping and empathy, but this transformation occurs that as soon as they step across the threshold of the church back outside, this transformation happens it's magical. They could be in that church going like, yes, we need to treat others the way we want to be treated, with love and respect and empathy and sympathy. Oh my God, it's a Mexican rapist. Tucker, give me your phone. Give me your phone, Tucker. There's a Mexican rapist out here. Yes, yes. Hello, police. Yes, I want to report a Mexican rapist. Yes, I'm standing outside the Church of Selfless Benevolence, and there's a Mexican rapist. And what's that? I don't know. She's probably 9 or 10. I'm not sure, but she's pointing to her belly and crying. So please send one of your tanks. Please send one of your tanks. But all right. I think if we went to the church and said, hey, you know, because of what we've just been discussing, and how all those things are not applicable in any way, shape, or form, we think that maybe now you should just pay your fair share of taxes. I think the church would say no. And I said, well, how come? Why not? Well, because we need that money desperately, or you know, we would just crumble as a business. I mean, we're not, you know, we're just a little mom and pop and Holy Ghost. We're a mom and pop and Holy Ghost little startup, and we're barely getting by here, you know. And then I would say, well, what do you need the extra money for? Is it for more jewel-encrusted golden cups? No, we have plenty of those. I think we have all of them. Do we have all the jewel? Yeah, we have all the jewel-encrusted golden cups, so we're good with that. No, don't take those. No, those need to stay here. We need them to give the place a little zhuzhing. Well, all right, I don't understand. Why, if you don't need it, what do you need the money for then? Well, I'll tell you, okay, and it's not cheap at all, but every single year, we have to pay out tens of millions of dollars in settlements to the people we've raped and molested. And it's a lot of money. Yeah, we rape and molest a lot of kids, so, you know, and Everyone's got their damn hand out, you know? No one's happy with it. No one's happy about it. And, you know, every time somebody snitches on a priest, we have to go to that priest and go, I'm sorry, Father O'Brien, but the Hernandez boy ratted you out, so we're going to have to move you secretly under the cover of night to another different parish yet again. Is there any place you'd like to go? You know, I have always wanted to rape a boy in Pennsylvania. All right, Pennsylvania it is. He wants to go to Pennsylvania. Remember, don't tell the parish, okay? Loose lips, right? And then I would say to the church, well, okay, but then what if, I'm just crunching the numbers here, but what if you stopped raping your children? Did you hear that? Yes, it's not right. No, we're not going to do that. Come on. So, sure, that's the easy thing to do. No, we're not going to do that. No. No, that's that's our thing. That's what we do. You know, we've been doing it since before Christ. You figure that one out. No, we're not going to stop. All right, Captain Obvious. All right. It's literally the first benefit listed on the job application, right? Yeah, look right there. It says you get to fuck your flock. That's. Go to fuckyourflock.com. Scan the QR code for 25% off. And speaking of unwanted pregnancies, so I live in New York, and you know, live in a progressive liberal city in a progressive liberal state, and you know, I live there by choice, you know, and you know, it's I live in a bubble, you know, I do. I readily admit it. I acknowledge it. I live in a bubble, but you know, I've been touring all over America, all over, and I'm going to stay in that bubble. It's a good bubble. It's a good bubble to be in. Happy to be in the bubble. And so, like, here's the thing. Like, I grew up in the South, and my whole family's still back there. And I go home, you know, in Georgia. I go home 3-4 times a year, every year. And I just forget about that kind of conservative thinking and especially like the anti-abortion movement, the ferocity of the anti-abortion movement. Like you know, 'cause I live in New York and we don't have to deal with any of that nonsense. But I go back home and not so much in Atlanta proper, but as you're leaving and it gets more country, you start seeing all those billboards, right? I'm sure y'all have the billboards, yeah? They're like, and the further more country they get, the more ubiquitous and frequent. And it's always a variation of the same exact billboard. It's the same thing, right? On one side, there's a photo of an adorable baby, you know, like a 6-month-old, just adorable baby. And, you know, all 6-month-old babies are adorable, you know, unless they're born with a weird thing. But they're not gonna put that on the poster. Like, what are you doing? What? I'm trying to appeal to some emotional heartstrings here. What are you doing? Get that fucking monstrosity off of there. Trying to make some money, all right? Put up an adorable baby. And you know, and while you're at it, could you maybe in Photoshop kind of extend her eyelashes a little bit and plump up her lips a bit, you know, for me, for later? Okay, thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, we know where the real pedophiles are. You don't have to look that hard. If you really want to catch pedophiles, you know where to go. So yeah, on one side, photo of an adorable baby, and then on the other side, it would say, "Choose life, you fucking whore. All life is precious." All right? And I think what the pro-choice movement should do is to buy the very next billboard after that one, right? So you pass by that one, 150 feet later, you see another one, says the exact same thing, same font, same size, same color, choose life, all life is precious. But then instead of a photo of an adorable baby, it's a photo of like a 32-year-old dude in his basement apartment, just jerking off to anime, you know? Going hard, going real hard, you know? Like, Rule 34, you know? Sitting there with a big pile of empty Monster Energy drinks at the foot of his gamer chair, a big old gas mask bong on the table, his filthy mustard and cum-stained robe splayed open, hunched over the computer, you know, going, is there a Bitcoin just for fascists? Yeah. All life is precious. You think all life is precious? No? Is it all life precious? What do you think? Not sure? I'm gonna help you out. It's not. All life is not precious. Use your fucking eyes. It's not. And I'm gonna tell my daughter that too. I'm gonna make sure my daughter understands that. I'm gonna sit her down and go, listen, honey, listen, kiddo, has anybody tried to tell you that all life is precious and God and the Bible? They have? Okay, well, I want to say, this is your dad talking, okay, that is a load of horse shit, okay? I mean, just in the 2.5 blocks we walked to school, we passed by a lot of unprecious life. I mean, nothing precious about it. I don't wish them any ill will, or I hope they're the best for them, but they're not precious. Come on. Words matter, honey, okay? They fucking matter, okay? And also, you see that boy over there? See that boy, Copernicus? Yeah. I want you to stop hanging out with him, okay? No, he's fine. It's just his dad is a bit of a douche, that's all. And speaking of unwanted pregnancies, I've learned so much from my daughter and things that one of the things that I've learned is that, and they don't tell you this, but you have to kind of constantly edit your response to your kids, you know, when they're little, because they will often say some really funny shit. I mean, some fucking gems, right? But they don't intend for it to be funny. So you can't laugh at them because when you laugh, it's upsetting to them. You know, they take it personally. They don't get it. You know, they're not trying to be funny, and they just see somebody, a parent laughing at them. So you have to edit your response. And a good example of this is again 100% true. When my daughter was about 4.5, my wife was out of town, and we were having breakfast, and there was a little lull in the conversation. I was at the sink washing dishes. And then after a minute or two, my daughter says, and apropos of nothing, right? We had not been talking about anything like this at all. And my daughter just says, Daddy, I'm sad you're going to die soon. And, you know, my immediate reaction was, oh my God, she's a witch. So I went over to the table and I sat down next to her, and I very quickly bound her hands and legs, threw her in her sack, drove to the bridge, and dumped her in the river. I ain't gonna fuck with no ghost. Or witch, I should have said witch. Here's the thing, I love my daughter so much. I love her in a way that... You've met her. No, I love her in a way, and I know this doesn't sound right, but keep listening. I'm surprised at how much I love her. Meaning, I'm surprised at the depth of love I have for another. I've never felt that kind of depth of love for any other person or thing that I do with her, you know. And I've always thought I had kind of a minor form of autism when it came to love, because I never felt that, made that connection that deep, like the things you see in the movies and the books and the music and the poems and stuff. I've never felt that. Like The Notebook? No, I mean, what? Fuck that. I'm not going in the rain. No. And Wuthering Heights, you know, I haven't read it, but I assume there's some love shit in there, and I've never made that kind of deep connection. And I have an amazing, awesome dog, you know, and I would take a bullet for that kid, you know, like instinctively. I would take a bullet for that kid. I would not take a bullet for my wife. No. Absolutely not. No. No, fuck that. No. Honey, that's your bullet. He said it was for you. So I'll be downstairs playing video games, all right? Just. No, I would take a bullet for my dog. Now here's the thing. How many people here, Boise, how many people here, and be honest, would take a bullet for their partner? Could you turn on the house lights, please? Turn them up, yeah. Okay, let me ask again. How many people here would take a bullet for their partner? You're fucking full of shit. Fuck you guys. Fuck you pussies, you're dishonest. No. You? No way, no fucking way. This dude would, I believe that. Let me see. No. Yeah, maybe, all right. All right, you can turn the lights on. You guys are fucking full of shit. Bunch of... I really should pull out a gun right now, right? No, but I love that kid so much, but and I'm 100% sincere when I say this. I love her, but I also resent her. I do. I really do. Like, I resent her because she's fucking rich, you know? I'm serious. She's a rich kid, and I know it's not right, and it's leftover prejudice from when I grew up. I grew up really poor, and I didn't like rich people, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. It made no sense, and it wasn't fair. And I don't like rich people, you know. And I'm rich, you know. I mean, I'm not rich. I pay my taxes, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm comfortable. If I get sick, it's okay. So, this kid, when she's fucking whining, this fucking rich kid whining, is there anything more annoying than a rich kid whining about shit? I'm like, stop whining. You're fucking rich. All right? You have central air, okay? You have central air. All right? Are you hot? Push that button. You'll cool down like that, you know? Listen. You have a teepee in your playroom that's not your bedroom. Can you conceive of how fucking rich you're sitting there eating an organic banana that your mother made me go to 3 fucking places in the rain to get you an organic banana? Like, that fucking matters. It's the biggest scam in the whole fucking world. Anybody can slap an organic sticker on anything. Nobody does their due diligence. They don't know. Also, are you gonna eat the peel? Well, then who gives a fuck? Why do I gotta pay a 300% markup on this shit, right? Come on. It's fucking nonsense. And, okay, so let me get this straight. So, Our air is polluted, our water is contaminated, our homes are slowly trying to kill us. But yeah, an organic banana, that'll set everything straight. Okay, great. You know, I didn't have anything organic until I was 40, and that was by accident, and I'm fine, okay? So, seriously, quit your whining. Listen to me. Listen to me, young lady. Stop. Listen to me. Until you drive your 1982 Chevy Malibu with a broken side mirror an hour and a half through a snowstorm in Western Mass so you can do a set for a bunch of disinterested, drunk, violent, anti-Semitic, racist Christian patriots for $30 and a cold egg roll, then you can complain to me about how your purse doesn't have as many sparkles as Madeline's, all right? And also that purse, that was made by prison labor. Yeah, that's right. An innocent man, a bunch of dirty, crooked, corrupt cops planted drugs on him, okay? They planted drugs on him, they're dirty cops, and they planted drugs on him because they needed to fill their quotas for up at the end of the month so they get their free pair of Beats headphones or whatever the fuck. And so they were like, yeah, it's a indigent black guy. Nobody's gonna give a shit. So they planted drugs on him, okay? And then, when the department that they worked for found out, you know what the rest of the department did? They all covered up for him. Yeah, they're all corrupt from top to bottom. They're fucking corrupt. And then those crooked cops, those dirty cops, perjured themselves on the witness stand and in cahoots with a crooked prosecutor and a crooked judge knowingly sent an innocent man to jail, ruining generations of lives. He's not gonna get to see his kid graduate. He made your purse. And another thing that I've noticed that's changed since I had a kid is that news affects me in a different way, a little deeper, certain stories are I can't shake them. They resonate and they stay with me and they're very disturbing and they're upsetting. Like, before I had a kid and I get up, I make a cup of tea, get on the internet and, Yahoo front page news thing, and there's a big story. A woman in Florida murdered her 3-year-old daughter. And before I had a kid, I'd be like, fuck, man, that's fucked up. How'd the Braves do? But now that I have a kid, I can't, those things just are really upsetting, Get up in the morning, read that story. Next morning, get on the internet. A man in Florida murdered his 4-year-old son. Man, fuck, that's crazy. Next morning, a woman in Florida murdered her 4 children, all under the age of 7. God damn, man, what the fuck? Next morning, a man in Florida murdered his nieces and nephews. Next morning, a couple in Florida murdered their twin 3-year-olds. And you're like, you murdered a 3-year-old? What the fuck is wrong? You murdered a 3-year-old. You don't have to murder a 3-year-old. They're 3. There's a million ways they can die. Just leave them at the top of the stairs and go do laundry. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't have to scream and yell when they're running into the meeting and just be like, Cody, stop, What the fuck? And now you're gonna go to jail for the rest of your life. It's fucking, like, hey kiddo, here's 5 inches of water. I'm gonna go make some fish sticks. Oh no, I'm free. What the fuck? It's upsetting, it's disturbing. And also you live in Florida, avail yourself of the services there. I mean, come on. Just be patient. You know, there's a 33.6% chance they'll be shot to death in school by the time they're in 8th grade. You know? Hey, is your kid black or brown? The cops will murder him for you. Yeah. Oh my God, is right. What the fuck is going on in Florida? It's crazy. It is bananas. It's so, this crazy shit. Banning books. Banning books. Moms for Liberty are banning books. Yeah, nothing says liberty like banning books, right? We're gonna liberate you from knowledge. My precious children. I don't want my children to learn about gay people until they're in their 30s. Man, fucking Florida is fucking nuts. It's crazy. And I think it's really messed up that they're going to have to change the end of the Flintstones theme song just because of Florida. You got it? Do you get it? Yep. You got it, but you didn't. You didn't get it. Yeah, now you got it, because she told you, yeah. How about up there? Y'all get it? Okay. All right, that's enough time. That's enough time. And as I said, you know, I live in New York, and I'm fucking thrilled that I get to raise a kid in that environment and not have the shitty fucking childhood I did. And you know, we live in a very diverse neighborhood, culturally, economically, ethnically, you know, and she goes to a great school. Public school. She goes to a public school down the street. It's awesome. And she's in the minority. She's in the minority at that school. And, I mean, don't freak out. She has white friends. You know, we insisted upon it. But, no, it's awesome. And, you know, she's learning all these great, and here, I got to read this to you, okay? This is like from about 6-7 weeks ago, right? So this wasn't in the set when I first started, but this is true. This is what I'm about to read to you is for real, okay? This is Florida. If you want to see the outcome of Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act, look no further than changes made to a first grade social studies text about Rosa Parks, okay? So here's the old version. This is what they were teaching kids in Florida. The law said African Americans had to give up their seats on the bus if a white person wanted to sit down. Well, that's pretty much what it was, yeah. But that was no good because the beautiful, fragile children of Florida, when they heard this, they started committing suicide en masse. So they had to change it. They had to change it. So they changed it to, she was told to move to a different seat because of the color of her skin. All right, well, not as specific, but also true. That's fine. No. That wasn't, it was still an issue. Even after they changed it, and these precious, precious youngsters were, when they heard this news, they all started doing heroin and joining the Church of Satan. So they changed it. They changed it again. And what I'm about to read to you is what they are teaching kids in Florida about the Rosa Parks story. Ready? Here you go. She was told to move to a different seat. She did not. She did what she believed was right. The Rosa Parks story. Yep. And you notice how they leave a little wiggle room there, right? For the homeschoolers. She did what she believed was right. You know, it wasn't right, you know. She did what she believed was right, and it just sounded like somebody was getting too big for their britches, getting all uppity and causing a fuss, and she should have just listened to her superiors and moved to the back, but she didn't. She did what she believed was right, and now we got to deal with all these vape stores. The Rosa Parks story. Hey kids, we're going to learn about Martin Luther King Jr. today. Martin Luther King Jr. told us all about a dream he had. But everyone knows it's boring when people tell you their dreams. He was rude and insolent. Nevertheless, a kindly white gentleman by the name of James Earl Ray was so moved by Dr. King's dream speech that he decided to give him a present. And he looked around his house. What can I give Dr. King? I know what I'll give him. I'll give him these free bullets. But I'm so far away. How can I get them to him quickly? In Germany in 1939, a confused but well-meaning young man tried to come up with a solution to a problem that everyone had. He tried everything, and nothing seemed to work, so he was forced to use his final solution. And although there were very fine people on both sides, two wrongs don't make a right, Jews. Yeah. It's crazy. And here's the thing, as I said, my daughter, is growing up in this, we tell her the truth. We don't pull any punches. Why would we, but it's inevitable that at some point, she's gonna have a conversation with a kid who was educated in Florida, or Georgia, or South Carolina, or North Carolina, or Kentucky, or Virginia, or West Virginia, or Tennessee, or Alabama, or Mississippi, or Louisiana, or Texas, or Oklahoma, or Arkansas, or Missouri, or North Dakota, or South Dakota, or Iowa, or Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, or Utah. And yeah, it's gonna be weird because they're gonna have completely different frames of reference for what truth is, what history is. Completely different, My daughter will be, on the playground, be like, "Hi, I'm Marlo, I'm 6. Oh, I'm Eve, I'm 6 too. I'm from Florida. My mom's making fish sticks for dinner. Oh, okay. You want to play on the monkey bars? Yeah, okay. You know what? There's a better way to do this. Yeah, this will make more sense. Is there anybody here who is willing to come up on stage and read something with me? All right, you're first up, sure. All right. Tobias. Okay. Tobias? Here you go. Thank you for doing this. Yeah. Now, Tobias, I have you do first ask this, because I've done this a bunch, and I know there are people who ask you, they'll ask me, are you a plant?
No.
Okay, great. All right.
Oh, a plant. I thought you meant like an actual physical green plant. And I was like, no, I'm human. Sorry.
I think that proves it. All right, great. So thank Yeah, I think this will be better to do it this way. This will make more sense. And if you see two lines of dialogue next to each other, we both read at the same time. That's called dual dialogue.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'll start again. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I think this will be better to do it this way. It makes more sense. And if you see two lines next to each other, we both read at the same time. That's called dual dialogue.
And I just read this part.
Where it says audience member. Here, I've highlighted it for you.
Okay. I'll read Marlo's
So I'll read
part.
Marlo's part.
I'll read Marlo's. Okay.
No. You read the part of audience member. You're audience member.
Hello, I have a name. Maybe you could call me by my name instead of just the insulting and dehumanizing audience member.
Okay, well, I'm going to be doing this, reading this all over North America and Europe and probably not Mexico, I don't think. But I can't anticipate every person's name.
Well, I have a very common name.
What is it?
Well, it's Shonda Vermillion.
Oh, what kind of name is that?
It's Roman for lightheaded.
Roman, you mean Latin?
No.
Oh, okay, well, just, you're the other kid, and let's just read the script, okay?
Yes. I'm really excited to tackle this. Truly, truly important work.
Are you being sarcastic?
Well, yeah.
Well, then fucking act like it. Deliver the line the way it was meant to be delivered.
I'm really excited to tackle this important work.
Wow.
Are you being sarcastic? Look, can we just do the script where your kid talks to the homeschooled kid from Florida or wherever? I need to take my insulin shot pretty soon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had diabetes.
Well, I don't. I just really love glucose. I can't get enough of it.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
I know, right? Do you think I could open for you?
Would you do that joke?
I would only do that joke. Twice.
Twice?
Once in Mandarin. Look, are we going to do the thing or not?
Yeah, sure, but I want to hear you do that joke in Mandarin first.
It's comedy.
What?
I can do it.
Okay, do it.
I did.
Oh, do it again. I did. What,
It's shorthand. It's very tiny letters.
What? Huh?
西上回，西照照。
Well, that's Cantonese. I don't know what you're...
Are we still doing this?
Are you?
Yes.
Then do it.
I did it twice already.
You're right. Okay.
Okay.
You're right. That was good. A lot of people... Whoa. Tobiah, where are you going? Yeah, that was not the script. This is the script.
Okay.
No, this is the script.
Were you just trying to make sure I could read?
No, I've sussed that out pretty quickly.
Okay, all right.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Here's the script. Hi,
Hi,
I'm Marlo and I'm 6.
I'm Eve. I'm 6'2". Want to play with me on the monkey bars?
Yeah!
Okay, we have to pray the Pledge of Allegiance first.
What's that?
The Pledge of Allegiance to this flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, except for New York and California, and to the republicans for which it stands, one nation, under the police, with... Aren't you going to do it with me?
I don't know what that is.
It's the official saying of America. I do it at school.
Oh, what school do you go to? I go to PS 62.
You call your living room PS 62?
No, that's my school. Miss Clavin is my teacher, and she also plays piano.
Well, my school is at home, and my mommy teaches me.
Oh, your mommy is a teacher?
Well, now she is, because this old school was teaching lies.
Oh, I know what a lie is. Like 2 + 2 is 5 or something like that?
2 + 2 is 5. No, a lie is like saying that black people didn't want to be slaves or that there are Jews in heaven, made up lies like that. Like when the old school tried to teach us symbol rights.
What's symbol rights?
Well, symbol rights is a trick of the devil to get us to like other people. Did you know Jews are the devil too? And gays. In fact, the Jewish Democrat devil invented rainbow flags to groom us into sodomy. They don't want to teach us at school either, so that's why mommy teaches me now, to keep me safe.
Well, safe from what?
From the Hollywood pedophiles, or the communist Jews, or Muslims, or Mexicans, or libtards, or angry, lazy black mermaids who are all out to get me.
Oh, can we play now?
I have to make sure you're not vaccinated first.
Well, because of the boogies in the air?
No, because George Soros of the AOC and the liberal woke fake news. Sorry, I'm not really comfortable with this.
Oh, just read it. I mean, you're in this deep. Go ahead.
Look, I thought you were going to do a Tobias joke. That's why my mommy and I came down here. That's why we entered the contest. We weren't expecting a whole diatribe about the limitations and dangers of homeschooling.
Wait, I'm sorry, what contest?
Yeah, at Panda Express. They had a contest to win a free packet of soy sauce, but we lost and ended up with 2 tickets to this show. My bad. I thought you were Dave Attell. Come on, Mommy. Let's get out of here. This guy sucks. Can't even finish a bit. Worst daddy in the world, my asshole. More like the worst daddy in the whole country.
Tobiah! Thank you very much. Very good. Thank you. That's pretty good. It's always a roll of the dice. Always a roll of the dice. Spokane? Not very good. Not very good in Spokane. Missoula? Great. Bozeman? Not so good. Not so good. All right, folks. Well, listen, I've got to go, but before I... Wait, I've been up here for an hour and a half. What the fuck? And I got to pee, too. I do have to pee, so... I got to go, but before I do, I want to talk about something briefly. So I can't speak for other comedians, but you know, when I put a set together, which takes a little bit of time, and I go out on tour, the last shows are always quite a bit different than the beginning shows, and that's because, you know, you can tell I'm pretty extemporaneous on stage. I riff a lot of stuff. And then bits will expand. I'll just have one kernel of an idea, and then I'll figure it out on stage. So I keep doing that. And then I don't want to do a 2-hour show, so I have to start dropping some stuff. And it changes. The set evolves and it changes. And it happens with every tour. And that's why I'm recording this show, which I've only got 4 more shows left on the tour. And this is already different than the show that I taped in July. So, and I do that all the time. But I've noticed around halfway through that kind of a theme has started to present itself in this set. And I want to, unintentional, I didn't intend for it, I noticed it, and I want to speak to that right now. You know, this is, I've been doing a lot of these tours, and I've been out there a lot, and it's really, really, really bad out there. It's really ugly. It's uglier than I've ever remember seeing it, and it's so. People are really mean and shitty and unkind and zero empathy and cruel and I don't like the level of that people are comfortable with being, racist, anti-Semitic, anti-Asian sentiment, misogynistic. It's just ugly, and there's this undercurrent of violence that's just ready to burble up, and people aren't civil, and there's a lot of willful ignorance. It's bad, It's ugly, and it used to be, you used to say like, hey. When people were running for office, like, if you vote for me, I will help usher in a white nationalist Christian theocracy. People be like, no, thank you. But now they're like, oh, great, you'll fit right in. We have a couple of neo-Nazis you're going to want to introduce yourself to, and they're on the board. And I also don't remember the level of gleefulness and joy that people have at the suffering of other people. Like, they love it. It makes them happy. When a trans kid kills themselves, they're high-fiving. It's funny to them. Brings them joy, And look, America was never great, but it was hopeful. There was progress being made. We felt like we were trying to be kinder to each other and listen to each other and accept people. There was hope, there was optimism, And I think if America wants to get back to that place, then we need to build a time machine and go back and kill the person responsible for the mess we're in now. And I'll do it. I will do it, and I understand the canon of how this works. Like, once you use the time machine, you've altered the space-time continuum, and the fabric is torn, and now the time machine can't exist because you've altered reality. But I'll do it. I will go back in time, and I will kill Jesus Christ. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for my daughter. I'll do it for all the kids, all right? And I'm not going to go to when he was like 30, 31, whatever, because he was kind of ripped, as I understand. He was pretty cut, and he had like a 12-man security detail with him the whole time. So I'm not gonna go there, and I'm certainly not gonna go to when he was first born. We all know that story, the Immaculate Conception, the Virgin Mary gave birth to Jesus. I wouldn't, it's a little unseemly, I think, to kill a one-day-old baby, but we know nothing about Jesus' life from literally the day after he was born until he was like 30 and a half. We know nothing. We don't know anything about teenage Jesus, 14-year-old, sullen, mopey Jesus, covered in acne, hormones raging out of control, just emo. School's a prison, just constantly jerking off, 14-year-old boys jerk off 7 times a day, minimum, and Jesus was no different, okay? And they didn't have Nivea back then. There was no lotion. So 14-year-old Jesus' dick looked like an overcooked hot dog, that had been left in the rain for a week and then discovered by a pack of rabid raccoons. And we all know the story, beautiful, inspirational story of the virgin birth, when God so loved us that he implanted his seed inside the Virgin Mary and gave us his only son. He loved us that much that God took his seed is cum. God took his cum and he put it inside the Virgin Mary. And here's the thing, he was everyone's God. Everyone on the planet's God. He's everyone's God. So he had to decide which cum he was going to put inside Mary, because he has thousands and thousands and thousands of different cums. So he had to sit there and go, oh, which cum should I put in the Virgin Mary? Should it be like Nordic or Indo-Asian or Aboriginal or Mayan or Namibian or Incan or Arapaho or... You know what? I'm gonna go with Jew. I'm gonna put my Jew cum in her. That's my best cum, you know? And, oh yeah, that's good cum. That's good cum. And so God sent his cum all the way. God is way in outer space. And he had to send, and there's no atmosphere up there, so he had to send his cum all the way down to planet Earth, but it just zipping through all these different galaxies and solar systems, but always maintaining an eternal temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, otherwise it would degrade. So it had to speed up and slow down, because it always had to be 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it's avoiding planets and moons and asteroids and space dust, and then it finally gets through all the galaxies, gets to the Milky Way galaxy, and then finds its way into our solar system, and then gets to planet Earth and has to go through all the different atmospheres, because God loves atmospheres. So he gave us a whole bunch, so it had to go through the exosphere and the thermosphere and the mesosphere and the stratosphere and into the troposphere, and wait for the opportune time for Mary to go like this, and then in it went. And then, because Mary is a human woman, she went through the 9-month gestation period that women go through, and Jesus, the Son of God, was growing in her belly. And then God sent the angel Gabriel to Joseph and Mary to explain what was happening, and to also say that you need to go to Bethlehem, either to be counted for the census or to not be counted for the census. It's a little vague. Historians aren't exactly sure what the deal is with that, but it's very important to God to either be counted for the census or to not be counted for the census. But you need to get to Bethlehem. Just you got to go to Bethlehem. It's called the writer's device. Okay, just go to Bethlehem. So, and then Gabriel went up the chimney, and then Joseph put Mary on their donkey. Dinkles the donkey, that was the name of the donkey. It's in the Bible. So Joseph, Mary, and Dinkles the donkey went to Bethlehem. And we all know this part of the story. They got to Bethlehem, but there was no room in the inn. The inn, singular. There's no room at the inn. So they had to sleep in the manger. Now here's a question. 2023 years ago, what was the difference between a room at the inn and the manger? There's no difference. There's no difference. You're still sleeping on hay next to a goat, all right? They act like it's an Airbnb where the Wi-Fi went out. No, in fact, I'm sure when he found out they were going to be in the manger, Joseph was like, good, some fucking fresh air for once, good. And so they got some straw together, and Mary lay down, and she starts to go into labor. Mary started to go into labor, and they started timing her contractions, but they just had a sundial, and it was at night, so that didn't really work. But then she could feel the commotion. It's Jesus. Jesus is ready to come out. He's ready to come out. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but he's not coming out. And here's what they leave out of the story. But when God put his cum into Mary, he forgot to do a very important, integral part of the process. He forgot to fuck Mary. So the hymen remained intact. So Jesus is trying to come out, but there's this wall of flesh, and he's kicking and screaming and crashing and clawing, and he can't get out, and it's traumatizing. It's absolutely traumatizing. Ask any Scientologist what happens in there. It will scar you for billions of lives. And it gave Jesus messed him up, gave him a complex, gave him a Messiah complex, you know? And then finally, Mary sussed out what was happening and said, Joseph, I'm gonna hop back on Dinkles, and I'm gonna take him around. We're gonna go triple speed, see if I can knock this little guy out. And then she did, tore her hymen, came back and squatted, and now she's starting to give birth to the Son of God. And here he comes, and he's covered, and there's a little bit of blood and placenta and shit. There's shit too, because that's also part of the birthing process. When you give birth through the vaginal canal, you lose control of your sphincter and your bowels, and there's shit. So here comes the Son of God, Jesus Christ, covered in shit, and they cleaned him off with some hay and some goat urine, and then. So I'm gonna go to Jesus when he was like 4, I think. and I'll dress appropriately so as not to arouse suspicion. I will bring something to distract the villagers, and I'll go, hey, check this out. It's called a Furby. And I'll take Jesus by the hand and go, hey, kiddo, I want to take you down to the river and show you something pretty cool. All right, listen, kiddo. This is very important for me to say, and it's very, very important for you to hear, okay? But you are a beautiful person with beautiful ideas, and you are all about peace and love, unconditional love. You're about charity. You're about selflessness. You're about celebrating diversity and equity and inclusion. You're a good man with beautiful ideas, all right? This is not about you, okay? This is about your fans. So we're gonna take everything and everything you do, and they will willfully, maliciously twist your words and for their own perverted sense of power. And everything they do and say is completely antithetical to everything you ever said or lived or wanted us to live like. And they will kill millions in your name. They will drive millions of others to suicide in your name. All right, Boise, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I will see you all next time. Thank you. Thank you guys very much. And thank you again to Sean Patton. Sean Patton. Thank you, Boise. I'll see you all next time.